When we were children, around 40 to 50 years ago, we had a deep bond with nature. Playing in open fields, climbing trees, plucking flowers at dawn, and so much more. At that time, we never imagined that within a few decades, most of these connections would quietly disappear. Now, if I say to a young boy or girl, let us sit on this grassy field, the response I often get is, no, the place is dirty, or it's so boring. I feel these reactions arise from our lost connection with nature. Today, I would like to share with you how I rediscovered a lost connection, what I call nature's magic, something amazing I experienced without fully understanding why at that time. In those days, we had frequent power cuts that lasted for several hours, sometimes at night and sometimes even during the day. Summers in our small town were extremely hot, and without electricity, it felt uncomfortable and exhausting. During power cuts at night, the entire neighborhood would be in darkness. No street lights, no lights from houses. Yet, looking back now, I realize that those power cuts also had a benefit. They brought us closer to the open sky. To escape the heat, we would climb up to the roof of our house. We would lie down on a mat on the rooftop. As we lay there with our eyes fixed on the night sky, we could see the deep black sky and countless stars glittering against that dark backdrop. Later, I read that P.B. Shelley, in his poem Tonight, calls for darkness, believing that in quiet darkness the imagination awakens and the spirit feels renewed. At that time, I didn't understand why, but after watching the sky for a few minutes, I would start to feel some benefits like reduced stress, increased calm, and regaining of mental energy. Now, when I recollected those memories, I began to ask myself, why did I feel that way? Was it just a personal experience, or was there a scientific reason why we feel good in nature? To find the answer, I began exploring books and journals, and what I discovered was truly amazing. Marc Berman, a professor of psychology and an environmental neuroscientist, once conducted a study titled A Walk in the Park. Before talking about his findings and experiments, I would like to say a few lines about his life and background that led him to choose this path. His grandfather was a Holocaust survivor. When US soldiers found him, he weighed only 90 pounds. The soldiers thought his grandfather was dead and placed his body with the corpses. A small movement of his toe saved his life. The pain connected to his grandfather's experience pushed Mark Berman to search for answers to the question, how can people be so evil? This search led him to study the factors that influence human behavior, and he later became so well known in his field. As I mentioned in my earlier video, pain doesn't always turn life negatively. It can also help a person grow by transforming negative life experiences into positive outcomes. Let us come back to the study of walk in the park. In 2008, 38 students at the University of Michigan took part in a walking experiment. Half walked about 4.5 kilometers through a natural settings while the others walked the same distance along a busy four-lane urban road. Before the walks, participants completed memory and attention tests that involved repeating digit sequences like 49751 in reverse order. When they returned to campus, the students took the test again. A week later, the routes were switched among the volunteers and tests were repeated. The results were breathtaking. Memory and attention improved significantly after walking in nature, but showed only slight improvement after walking in the urban environment. Mormon explained these psychological benefits from nature through attention restoration theory, which was first proposed by Rachel Kaplan and Stephen Kaplan, professor of psychology at the University of Michigan. According to the attention restoration theory, there are two kinds of attention: directed attention and involuntary attention. Directed attention is the ability to choose where we place our focus, like continuing to read a book despite constant notifications on our phone. or like fixing our gaze on a distant tree while ignoring the traffic around us. It is the key ingredient that makes us more than simply stimulus driven creatures. The second type is involuntary attention. Involuntary attention is automatic, reflexive, and survival oriented. Birds taking flight immediately after a loud noise. Or, for example, you are studying quietly when a door suddenly slams. Instantly, you look up without thinking. Your attention shifts automatically. When we talk about attention, we often think it is something mainly related to children, their inability to focus, or a skill they will naturally learn to manage as they grow older. But attention is equally important for adults. In fact, it quietly shapes almost everything we do in our daily life. Whatever we do, like playing the guitar, cooking a meal, cleaning the house, driving, reading, or even listening to someone you love. Berman said directed attention is a limited resource. When it becomes depleted, we lose focus and become more impulsive. Our mind wanders and it becomes harder to control our reactions. For example, after several hours of intense studying or problem solving, you may find yourself rereading the same paragraph without understanding it, getting irritated by small disturbances. Directed attention can be restored in several ways. Sleep is one of them, but it isn't always practical, especially during the day. The other way humans can replenish directed attention is through time spent in nature. Because according to them, nature is softly fascinating, meaning it tickles our attention in a gentle way without being too boring or too stimulating. In contrast, smartphones, flashing billboards, or walking along busy urban roads are harshly fascinating, which constantly demands our attention and further drains our directed attention reserves. Marc Berman says nature is beneficial, like the vegetables we know are good for us, whether or not we find them tasty. So, people who do not even like nature will also get the psychological benefits after spending time in nature. But attention restoration theory is still a theory, and the exact mechanisms behind it are not fully understood. To explore this further, a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Utah conducted a study similar to Mark Berman's experiment. Participants worked in natural or urban settings while their brain activity was measured using EEG. While in nature, the brain showed signs of rest, followed by stronger activation during attention tasks, suggesting it returned to work more efficiently or powerfully. However, Bauman mentioned that many natural environments satisfy these criteria, but not always. For example, if you are in a park but feel concerned about your safety, or if you are trekking and must stay constantly alert, you need lot of directed attention, and you may not experience the healing effects of nature. In addition, many non-nature environments might satisfy the criteria for being restorative. For example, visiting a museum. So, in this way, scientists proved the healing power of nature. And what I felt 3 or 4 decades ago was not merely a personal experience. We know that nature gives us so many things: food, shelter, oxygen, as well as water, medicine, and raw materials. These are all external benefits. Nature helps us internally also. It affects our mind, such as increasing our attention and preventing us from acting impulsively. If you are mentally disturbed, nature can help you. Trees are not only trees, the sound of a waterfall is not merely a sound, and the smell of nature is not a simple smell. But whatever explanation science gives for nature's effect, my own experience has shown me how powerful it can be, both for myself and for my son. Whenever my son calls and says, "Mama, I cannot focus," I am unable to concentrate on my studies. I use a simple remedy that I learned years ago. I ask him to look up at the sky. "Can you see the sky? Are there stars? How does it look?" As he describes it, his mind slowly begins to settle. Then I ask him to notice the plumeria tree in his campus. "Are there flowers? Can you smell them? And almost like a small miracle, he starts to feel better. His mind becomes calmer and his focus returns. So, if you ever find yourself unable to concentrate, try spending time in the green space in your own neighborhood. Walk slowly and engage all five of your senses. Look at nature, listen to its sounds, breathe the different smells, feel grass under your feet, tree bark with your hand, feel their texture, and where it is safe and allowed, taste what nature offers. If you walk in nature but keep staring at your phone, it serves no purpose. With nothing but your own five senses, let your gaze and attention follow whatever draws your soft fascination. Spend few minutes watching the clouds shift or a sparrow take flight. Let nature gently hold your attention. You may be surprised by how quickly your mind begins to restore itself. Even by looking at pictures of nature, a tree, watching videos of waterfalls or birds sing can also improve your mental state. Please give nature a try to restore your attention and let me know your experiences in the comments. If you liked my video, like it, share it, and please subscribe my channel.